mean, obviously a deflating result given how well the team played for the majority of the contest. What's your main takeaway from the game today?
Yeah, just flat. Like, end of the day, it looked like a Suns game for the vast majority of the games, but unfortunately, when you sort of they kick 8 goals in the last quarter, sort of thing. We just didn't play our moments that well. We had opportunities where we could have won contests, stepped in, or the Tom Green example is probably the best one where our guys jump to try and smother the ball. Like just nail the tackle. Like that probably summed it up. I just didn't think we played our moments anywhere near well enough. They went inside. I think had 9 or 10 entries inside 50 kicks, 8 goals, sort of thing. So. We did a lot right throughout the night, but unfortunately, when push comes to shove in big games like today, you got to nail those moments, and we just didn't. So, furthermore, when you kick 3 goals, 10 from set shots, that doesn't help.
You had, as you kind of said, had momentum of parts. I think it was 68 inside 50s in the end, and obviously the set shots proved costly. Was there anything different you wanted to see with some of those entries, or was it just making the most of it?
No, it's making the most sort of thing. It's like end of the day, we win that 450 ground ball count and had opportunities. We just didn't take them. Like, we had set shots on goal that we should have done. Expected scores had us winning by plus 17. You've just got to know your set shots. That's the harsh reality of AFL footy. If you don't take your chances, and one of the things that, one of the numbers here, GWS are incredibly accurate here, and for whatever reason, opposing sides aren't. That's, we showed our players that, went through it, tried to practice, but, unfortunately deserted us again today.
How much of it comes down to, I guess, a high-stakes game like today, where, as it's known, the first time the two sides have played when they're both in the top 8, the Giants have that finals experience in their background, whereas the Suns, I guess, for the most part, don't. Is it just like part of the learning to...
Yeah, a little bit. I suppose it is, but you've got to heed those lessons and move forward. And, today's game, once again, high contest, high pressure is how we want it, because that's what finals are like, and it was probably a finals-type game. We just didn't quite, when they upped the ante, we probably found a little bit wanting, which is unfortunate, which, is something that hasn't really been evident throughout, but at some stages it does. And, we are a side that is still on the march and still learning some things. And, that's something we'll take out of the game today. And, when push come to shove, we just didn't play those moments anywhere near well enough.
Was there anything beyond the moments as such that you saw that allowed the Giants to make that big surge home and kick 8 goals?
No, I think we just lost contest behind the ball. Like, we had 2v1s and just couldn't quite nullify the contest or get the ball out of bounds and all fell over. And, they're the sort of things you look at them and they're like so frustrating. It's one of those things.
Do you always take some comfort out of that midfield pressure early from the game?
Oh, we look from a game style point of view. We had the time inside forward half was nearly 70%, which is enormous sort of thing. We just couldn't quite get the scoreboard reward I thought we deserved, but it's probably the second time we've lost up here, a little bit the same. Last year we lost a game in a similar manner, just couldn't quite get the scoreboard, and they were very, very good shots on goal. Jake Stringer comes on and kicks like 2 or 3. Did he kick 2 or 3? Or two cracker goals sort of thing. It's like, geez, just not our day.
Talk about, I guess, taking moments and asked about the Giants finals experience. Does it feel perhaps maybe really a maturity thing rather than fundamental skills?
No, I just think it's one of those things you learn along the way, but, those moments that we speak about, when you're stepping over the ball, stay in the contest before you're out, make sure you nullify the contest, spoil the ball out of bounds, don't let it over the back. They're relatively simple things and fundamentals of the game that do cost you. So, we've got to get better in that aspect, and, we're trying to put this club on the path to somewhere that's a, pretty special place, but we've got a little bit of work to do, which we understand.
Jesse Hogan was given a 50-metre penalty early in the game when Mac Andrew looked to have moved off the mark. It looked like he did hear a play on call, but it looked like perhaps maybe it was a Suns teammate. What do you make?
Oh, I did. Like, he heard a play on call, and it's probably one of those decisions, I think, at times where sometimes the umpire will call play on, and then other times they'll let the guy... I'm not quite sure. Probably clarification might be needed at some stage, because, even at VFL level today, guys are taking half a millimetre off the mark and call play on, and there's other times they aren't. Mac's got to play to the understanding of what he understands that, but, costly call, not costly call, costly play. That's those moments that we speak about that effectively just hand them a goal when, Jesse's a good shot on goal, but he was plus 50 out then, so... Yeah.
One of those midfield guys who was really strong today was Matt Rowell. There was a report that came out during the game that he's at least communicated to the club he's wanting to stay at the club long term. Is that something that you've been made aware of or anything like that?
Oh, listen, as far as I'm concerned, there's no news at the moment. All we can continue to do is play our part and provide a good environment for Matt that, you know, allows him to play his very best footy. And, you know, obviously once we find out or get some information, we'll be the first to pass it on. Trust me, we love good players and we love Matt. You know, players, fans, coaches alike just think he's a superstar. So, look, we'll keep working our way through that.
And just on some of that goal kicking stuff, well, I know one of the moments that got highlighted was Jed's one miss early in the game where he took the sort of like simple run up. Is that one that obviously a young kid who's still learning, but just is easy to do?
Yeah, it is. And look, he'll learn, he'll get better, but they're the frustrations, and that's the very best players in world sport, regardless. No matter what the time, no matter what the situation, they do the fundamentals very, very well. Jed, unfortunately, will learn a lesson with regard to that, and so will we from it. So, look, he'll get better. Thought he was pretty good today, competed really well. Just didn't quite get the benefit of that shot on goal.
Any thoughts on, I guess, Ben King had a collision with Lockie Whitfield that led to Whitfield being concussed and subbed out of the game. But, yeah, did you have any thoughts on that?
I just thought both players are playing the ball as a big collision. You know, I think we've gone down this path enough times where we do understand that accidents happen in AFL footy. Look, we hope Lockie's okay, obviously, but I don't think Ben will have anything to worry about.
Thank you.
Thanks.